Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bay Area Case Studies Virtual College Fair Explore session. Thank you so much for joining us. Just a couple of announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button to address questions to any of our panelists at any time. So we'd love to hear from you. Use the feature, ask questions about any of the particular universities, about the college application. Really anything related to college admission is fair game. Your camera and your microphone are both turned off, so the Q&A button is really the one way you have to communicate with the panel. This is just one of many different sessions happening over the next couple of hours, so be sure to sign up for some more. Also, the presentation is being recorded and will be available in about a week's time online at strivescan.com/BACS, so you can revisit this or check out other sessions that you're missing. We have a great variety of schools that will be presenting with you today. They vary in size, location, other characteristics, and we hope that this session broadens your perspective as you're starting your college search. So we are going to hear from, I guess I should ask for a drum roll, Vanderbilt, Wheaton, University of Chicago, Loyola University, New Orleans, Wesleyan University, and Denison University. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to our first presenter from Vanderbilt.
Hello, and thank you. And I am going to share my screen. In just one moment. Sorry, everybody, give me a moment. Okay. Hold on a second. Sorry, technical difficulty. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
We can see it. You just need to go into present mode.
I just need to go into present mode. There you go. All right. Is that better?
Yep, you're all set.
All right. Thank you. Sorry about that. I had too many things going on. Anyway, that was like a minute of my time. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight. My name is Jan Suter, and I am an admissions officer at Vanderbilt University, which is in fabulous Nashville, Tennessee. This is a beautiful photograph of our gorgeous campus, which I have not been on very much for the past 13 months because we are still working from home. But I like to begin by saying we certainly miss traveling to your schools. We miss hosting families on campus, and certainly hope to get back to that sometime in the near future. So this is an actual photo of our campus. We are 330 beautiful acres. You'll see a little bit more about us in a moment, but we have all 4 seasons, a very long growing season. It's lush and gorgeous. It's pedestrian friendly. And on our campus, we've got our undergraduate university, we have graduate schools, and then we have a medical center, all located on one, again, beautiful 330 acre connected campus. A little bit about us by the numbers. We consider ourselves to be a mid-sized research residential liberal arts university. We're going to unpack that too. A total of about 7,000 undergraduates. We do have graduate schools and another 6,000 or so graduate students in their colleges and schools, but we have a focus on undergraduate teaching and learning. So 4 of the colleges and schools that you see right there are actually dedicated to undergraduate teaching and learning. We've got 70 majors, also known as fields of study disciplines. If you add in our minors and our 5-year programs, it takes our offerings to over 100. Really, whatever you want to do at Vanderbilt, you certainly can. 475 plus student organizations really represents all of the amazing things that our students do in high school. All of these organizations are created by our students. I like to say of the students, by the students, for the students. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are Vanderbilt values. You'll see a map in a moment which shows that our students come from everywhere, geographically distributed, but it's really about their experiences, their backgrounds, their passions. 44% of our students identify as students of color. The most important ratio, of course, is our 3-to-1 squirrel to student ratio, which is an adorable way of saying that it is a beautiful, walkable, pedestrian-friendly campus. You can see here again that our students come from all 49 states. We are missing a student from North Dakota, so I guess you could say there's an opening there. But population-wise, most of our students are not from Tennessee. We do have a robust population of students from our state of Tennessee where we're located, but about 93% of our students are from, as we call it, out of state, with another 10% of our students actually an international population. And why should you care about where other students are coming from? Your job at Vanderbilt is to become a critical thinker and a problem solver. And in order to do that, we want you bringing your identities, perspectives in a supportive, respectful environment. We also want you to be challenged in the way that you think. We want you to feel supported, and we want you challenging other students. That's the best way to become a critical thinker and a problem solver, make Vanderbilt a better place, go out there into the world beyond Vanderbilt and make it a better place too. We are a liberal arts university. Here's a quick definition of liberal arts. It means gaining knowledge and skills from a lot of different areas. Whatever you want to do at Vanderbilt in terms of undergraduate majors and minors, you can absolutely do that through our 4 academic colleges. Again, 100 offerings in terms of our majors, minors, and 5-year programs. But really, it's about liberal arts learning. It's about the fact that our students are going to dabble, explore, they're going to be supported, they're going to change their minds, you're going to land on a major. 30% of our students will double major. 50% or more have a major and a minor. And we also don't define learning as just what is your major, what is your minor. Learning really encompasses a lot of things, which is why I want to talk about the next slide, Immersion Vanderbilt. 50% of your Vanderbilt experience is going to happen outside of the classroom through research, internships, through getting involved in student organizations and community service and studying abroad. In fact, that's such an important part of the Vanderbilt experience that we have formalized it through a program called Immersion Vanderbilt. And you see here, it's the integration of your knowledge, what you're learning in the classroom, with real world immersive experiences. And every student will be required to have at least one immersive experience. And a lot of our students are completing multiple experiences. We are a residential community, so we do have housing available to 100% of our undergraduate students. This year was very, very different when we de-densified campus to keep our population safe and healthy. But really, we've created these incredible living learning environments at Vanderbilt through something called a residential college model. That means that our undergraduates are living and learning together. We have faculty and graduate students also learning on our campus, not just in the classroom, learning with your faculty, but also outside of the classroom. As a first-year student, you'll live in the Commons. You'll be one of 1,600 first-year students. You'll live in one of 10 houses, and each one of those houses has a faculty head of house. That connection with faculty is absolutely one of the secrets to your success at Vanderbilt. Balance, 475 plus student organizations. We have students involved in our Vanderbilt programming board to decide what speakers and performers come to campus. But again, our students are involved through sports, through the performing arts. They're a really intersectional, multi-talented group of people. And finally, the fantastic city of Nashville. We are located in the middle of the city of Nashville, so it surrounds us, and our students really connect through fun and food and festivals and music, doing research and internship in Nashville. We are a top city for young professionals, so some students will stick around for graduate school, and we certainly have a population of students who feel like Nashville really is their home. It's a place they want to stay, and they will find jobs in the city of Nashville. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Jan. Next, we'll be hearing from Wheaton College.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's get my screen shared here. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jason LaPerriere, and I'm an Associate Director of Admission at Wheaton College in Massachusetts. Excited to help you all learn a little bit more about Wheaton. In a nutshell, we are a small private liberal arts college. We are home to approximately 1,700 students coming to campus from across the country and around the world. Just over 10% of our students are coming to campus from international locations around the world. We're an undergraduate focused institution. So that means that we don't have graduate students on our campus taking up time from faculty, distracting faculty, or teaching any of our classes. 100% of our classes are taught by faculty. And the average class size at Wheaton is between 15 and 20 students. So they are discussion-based seminar style classes. And your professors really want you to stop by their office hours to continue conversations after class. So incredibly active and engaged. And that includes those first year courses that lots of students are taking. That close-knit student community in the classroom is incredibly important at Wheaton. In terms of our location, we're located in the town of Norton, Massachusetts, which is consistently ranked one of the top 10 safest communities in the entire United States. We're beautifully situated right between two of New England's largest cities, Boston and Providence, which I think really affords students the best of both worlds in terms of having access to two of New England's largest cities through the train station that's about 10 minutes away from our campus, while also giving them the opportunity to simply enjoy the beautiful, safe residential campus that they're living on. Our campus spans about 400 acres, has a very traditional New England feel, and is a great space for our students to live and learn. In terms of aspects that really help differentiate Wheaton from some of the other small liberal arts colleges you might be looking at, one is definitely our campus curriculum. And our curriculum is unique in that it's almost entirely open, very few mandatory requirements built into the curriculum. So that really allows the students amazing flexibility to pick and choose the courses that are most interesting to them and to work with faculty and academic advisors to craft an educational experience that's truly unique and isn't simply ticking boxes as part of a set of general education requirements. So in terms of the general structure of our curriculum, there are only 3 requirements, and those are up there in that blue circle on your screen. One is a first-year experience course, which serves as an introduction to your college academic experience, as well as an introduction to Wheaton. A sophomore year experience course, which will be experiential in some way, and I'll get into why that's important in just a minute. But the idea is that it will not be a traditional class, it'll be experiential in some way. It might be an internship, research, or study abroad, but won't be a traditional class. Third and final requirement is that you have a major and complete the requirements for that major. And there are a number of optional components you can take advantage of. A couple of theme-oriented honors programs. Double majoring is popular given the number of areas of study available at Wheaton. We have over 100 majors and minors. About a third of our students double major. In terms of breadth of programs, you can see our list of majors and minors up on your screen. But within our top 3 majors, amazing breadth. Those top 3 majors include business, biology, and psychology. Another unique aspect to the Wheaton experience is that we guarantee every single one of our students a funded internship or research experience by the time they reach senior year, and that's called our Wheaton Edge program. 2 big promises coming through the Wheaton Edge. One is that you will have a meaningful experiential learning opportunity by the time you reach senior year, and that's in addition to that sophomore year experience course that I mentioned. The second promise is that it will be paid. If your internship sponsor is not paying you, as many don't like to do, you'll actually be compensated directly from the college. The average 8-week summer internship compensated with a $3,000 stipend. Wheaton is a highly residential community. In a typical year, 96% of our students are living on campus, and we do guarantee housing for all 4 years. We have 19 residence halls with varying options for housing: doubles, triples, quads, suites. We also have 16 student-run theme houses, which I sort of describe as clubs with housing. We have a feminist perspectives house, Jewish life house, just to name a few. But really great opportunities to engage in the living learning experience at Wheaton. One thing that I love about our students is how active and involved they are in the campus community. Part of our amazing clubs and organizations on campus, 100+ clubs and organizations. We have about a quarter of our students who are involved in varsity athletics. We offer 21 varsity athletic teams, which includes a rather unique Division I synchronized swimming team, just one of 6 in the nation. We're part of the NUMAC conference, competing against schools like MIT, Mount Holyoke, and Babson, just to name a few. In terms of success after graduation, happy to say our students do extremely well after leaving our campus, 97% meeting success within 6 months of graduation. In terms of grad school placement, worth noting that it's about half of our students who ultimately enroll in a graduate program within 5 years of graduating. In terms of the application process to Wheaton, a couple of highlights. We are a common application institution, and we are test optional and have been for over 25 years. So that's not something that's new to us as a result of the pandemic. We offer a number of deadline programs: early decision, early action, regular decision. A quick snapshot of our admitted student profile there at the bottom. In general, admitting A/B students who are challenging themselves in their high school curriculum. In terms of financial aid, we offer merit-based as well as need-based financial aid. Won't go into incredible detail there. Certainly hope that I've piqued your interest. We have a number of opportunities to engage with us over the course of the spring. Head to our website or scan that QR code. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jason. And next we'll hear from the University of Chicago.
Thanks so much, Josh. I'm going to start sharing my screen. And so let's jump in and talk about UChicago. First off, my name is Mason Heller. I am an Associate Director of Admission at UChicago. I'm also an alum of the college. I graduated in 2015 and originally from the Bay Area. I grew up near Oakland. I wish I could be out there meeting you all in person, but excited to talk to you about UChicago. While it's corny to start talking about a school with your motto, I do think it really gets at the heart of who we are. And so our motto translated into English is let knowledge grow from more to more and so be human life enriched. And my interpretation of that is that UChicago is this place of ideas. Students love talking about ideas, debating ideas, coming up with new ways of thinking of things and new ideas. But ideas aren't just meant to live in a vacuum. They're made to make an impact in the world. And so our students are interested in enriching human life, taking the power of the ideas and making a positive change. In terms of the academics, basically UChicago is like a liberal arts college situated within a research university. So as part of the college, your classes are divided up into thirds. About a third of your classes will go towards the core curriculum, a third towards your major, and the last third towards electives. Probably the most distinctive part of UChicago education is our core curriculum. This is the bread and butter of our education philosophy, that by engaging with ideas, in a critical way, that's what the core class is designed to do. These are discussion-based classes. They're capped at 19 students. They're taught by faculty. And while every student meets the same core requirements, how you meet them can really differ. You can really make the core your own, choose between different classes within each core requirement. One example, the humanities requirement, humanities, how do we understand the human experience? Well, there are 9 different humanity core sequences you could choose from. One is called media aesthetics. And one of our current tour guides, his name is Steve, he's a biology major. He took media aesthetics, which looks through humanities through the lens of art and music and film, right? There's a lot more to understanding the human experience than just through literature. And he is very proud of the fact that he wrote every essay for that class about Beyonce. So you would have a lot of fun with your core classes. Moving along, outside of the classroom, a lot of students at UChicago get involved with research. We manage 3 national labs, Argonne National Lab, Fermi Lab, and the Marine Biological Lab in Woodsole, Massachusetts. We have about 160 research centers on campus. But research is not just test tubes and beakers. Really, any field you can get involved with research, even as early as your first year. And as bright as you all are, you're not in it alone. You have a full-time academic advisor and a full-time career advisor to help navigate the curriculum and different resources at Chicago. One thing I want to highlight is that we have this early and often approach with career exploration. So not only do you have that career advisor, but we also have these careers in programs listed here, and these are pre-professional programs open to any student of any major. So you can meet with specialized advisors. You can apply to things even in your first year, things like treks or externships or micro internships. And throughout your 4 years, you can take advantage of something called the Jeff Metcalf Internship Program. We offered over 2,700 paid internships through that program. These are all substantive experiences. They're all paid. And they spanned 800 different employers, 150 different cities, and over 35 different countries. So really can fully explore different careers throughout your 4 years. And at graduation, know that you'll have a job in place. 95% of our students at graduation have a job in place or are going to graduate school or have other substantive plans. And last, I want to talk about the community of Chicago. Your first introduction to the community is through our house system. Now, one thing to note with our house system is that there's no freshman house. Everyone's mixed together. You instantly become friends with upperclassmen, students of all different interests, different backgrounds, different walks of life. So these are really eclectic communities. And there's a lot of fun house traditions. One of my favorites is our annual scavenger hunt. We have the world's largest annual running scavenger hunt. Lots of fun, and the houses all compete against each other, and usually to build things or create things for these items. You can find from YouTube videos of that online. Another fun tradition are intramural sports. And so, if you can chew gum and walk in a straight line, you can do intramural sports. It's a great way to make friends in your house, compete against other houses. There's a fair amount of inter-house rivalries on campus. And then as well, we have about 40 or so different club teams and 20 different varsity teams competing in Division III athletics. The last thing I want to talk about in terms of community is involving yourself in the community that is the wonderful city of Chicago. The third largest city in the country. There's just kind of a wealth of things to get involved with, but we make it very easy for you to explore the city. Every student's given something called UPass, which gives you unlimited rides in Chicago public transit. And as someone who grew up in California where you need a car to get anywhere, you absolutely don't need a car to get around Chicago. So let that be a note. You don't need to drag that with you to school if you're thinking about that and coming to Chicago. You're also given something called Arts Pass, which gives you free admission to over 70 different cultural attractions in the city. So you can go see a show at the Chicago Symphony Orchestra, the Lyric Opera, or go see there's an amazing Monet exhibit right now at the Art Institute Chicago, which is open. And my favorite way to explore the city, though, is through food. Fun fact, Chicago has the country's largest restaurant week. So there's lots of great food to explore, and I bet you'll be exploring that even through your house too. A lot of houses have different trips that they organize, whether it's camping trips or trying out different restaurants in the city, etc. Last, I want to leave you with something about the application process. Talking about what makes Chicago distinctive. Can't go without talking about our essays. So yes, these are real essays that we ask, like find X. What if you fell off the edge of the earth? Where's Waldo really? If you haven't seen this before, definitely encourage you to go check them out. But that's UChicago. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and hand it back over to Josh.
Thank you so much, Mason. And up next, we'll hear from Loyola University, New Orleans.
Thank you, Josh. Again, my name is Ricky Alarcon, and I'm with Loyola University, New Orleans. I am also an assistant director of admissions, basically a regional representative. I live in the state of Texas, Dallas, Texas, but I cover all Western United States. So let me share my screen here. And so again, I want to talk about our institution and what we offer. Again, we're a small private Catholic liberal arts institution located in the city of New Orleans, roughly about 15-20 minutes west of downtown. Again, a private Jesuit institution with about less than 3,200 students called Loyola Home. We offer about 110 different academic programs. Again, those students that want to have small environments, but engaging with professors and staff, but you could definitely have opportunities just like a large university. Loyola is kind of like that institution for you. And this is our breakdown of our class of 2020. Kind of give you the numbers there. Some of our students, I guess most of our students, 54%, do come from out of state. And for a lot of our students a third of our students are first generation college students. And then the female male breakdown, and of course, our students of color, we do have representation from a lot of different students from all over the US and different cities and different populations there. So I kind of want to talk about the city of New Orleans. If you've ever been there, very eclectic, artsy, cultural, sort of diverse city. I tell students, and actually right across the street is our Audubon Park. This is where students can, run and just take a book and read under a tree, trying to unwind either before or after class. And so again, we are located in the Uptown area, which is, if you're familiar with downtown, or just take St. Charles Street, one of our famous streetcars, and we'll drop you off right here in front of our campus. If you know Tulane University, that's our next door neighbor and another private school. But again, we're located in a nice, distinct neighborhood. What I tell students is, New Orleans, there's always stuff to do. There's always movies and TV shows being produced here, and they call it the Hollywood of the South is the nickname of the city. So really quickly, I just kind of want to go over our different academic programs. Most students might know us for our music and media. So our programs such as the traditional music, vocal, theater, musical theater, filmmaking, journalism. But we also offer some programs that you might not have heard of, music therapy, one of the oldest in this part of the United States. Journalism is one of the oldest as well in the New Orleans area. And so we have like our music industry studies where students can learn the business side of the music industry. So not only you learn your craft or your talent, but you also learn the business side of that. Number two is probably our College of Business. We are a port city, so those of you who live in big, large metropolitan areas, the same here in New Orleans. Commerce and trade go hand in hand with the city, so accounting, management, finance, international business tends to be very popular. Our three is our sciences, so we offer chemistry, biology, but if we do have research opportunities to do work and actually emphasize in marine biology. So if you want to take a research project, study the different reptiles in the swamplands, we are your place for that. And then we are also going to start offering nursing as this fall of 2021 as a direct nurse entry to the nursing program. So we're offering that. 4 is psychology, 5 is criminology or criminal justice. Those are our programs, top 5 areas, I would say. But again, being a liberal arts institution, we highly encourage our students to double major, add minors. So let's say the music major wants to add computer science or maybe neuroscience, or history student wants to add maybe English or computer. Again, we can kind of mix and match different programs. Also, they can do that with our business school. So again, we highly encourage our students to get those double majors and minors. And really quickly, we do offer a lot of those experiential learning situations or environments for our students. So studying abroad, doing research, a lot of our students will study abroad. We have agreements with 80 different countries throughout the world. And so opportunities to do that, to go leave the comforts of your home. We also offer honors program for those students that are for high achievers. Definitely, it's actually a smaller set of students that will engage in more of discussion-based learning rather than lecture style. And then opportunities to work even closer with our faculty and staff doing research and so forth. And then finally, I kind of want to touch up on our admissions criteria as my time is winding down. We are test blind, meaning that we do not look at either test scores for admissions or scholarships. So what we're going to do, we will do a holistic review based on these items that are listed here. Your high school transcript, letters of recommendation, essay, and the extracurriculars that you indicate on your common application. Those items are basically what's going to help our admissions committee make that decision. And again, here are some of the deadlines for an upcoming year. And then for those that want to go into music and media, remember there is an additional portfolio interview audition that might be required. Got some great scholarships, especially for our students out in California. We love you guys. So merit scholarships start from $11,000 to $23,000. So with that, I will conclude my presentation and hand it back to Josh for the next presenter.
Thank you so much, Ricky. And next, we'll hear from Wesleyan University.
Thank you. All right, so sharing my screen here. Welcome. My name is Jan Ortiz. I am an assistant dean of admission at Wesleyan. Wesleyan University is a small liberal arts college. We're located in Middletown, Connecticut. So it's the town that's in the middle of New York City and Boston, quite literally. 2 hours to New York City, 2 hours to Boston, equidistant, and definitely you will have access to that. But students are spending most of their time on campus as well. We are a fully residential campus. And here's a picture of our campus. This is kind of from an aerial view, most of campus. So we are a smaller campus. I would say end to end is about 15 to 20 minute walk. So definitely very walkable. You don't need a car on campus, though you could bring one if you would like to, but still very accessible to public transportation, especially those coming from the West Coast. We do have Bradley International Airport, which is about 25 minutes drive from campus. One of our most distinctive features is the fact that we have an open curriculum, and it is open, very open in all senses. Really, we only have one requirement, or I guess two requirements. One is that you're fulfilling 32 credits or 32 classes by the time that you graduate. One class equals one credit, and that you're also fulfilling the requirements for one of our major courses of study. We have about 45 majors. Students also have the opportunity to do a minor or a certificate program. A lot of students will take advantage of the open curriculum and do a double major. You can even triple major at Wesleyan, though we probably do not advise it. But essentially, there is a lot of opportunities to explore within the curriculum. I would say each major is typically about 10 credits or 10 classes. So you can see pretty easily how you can fit in a double major. About 40% of students will double major, up to 65% of students will have a major and a minor course of study. So lots of flexibility. We have an 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So lots of exposure to and interactions with your professors while you're here. Faculty are teaching 100% of classes as well. Arts is certainly pretty dominant on campus, both extracurricularly, and also about a third of students are studying within the arts formally. But there are so many opportunities to get involved, even if you are really interested in theater, but you don't want it to be your primary focus. We have a very vibrant student theater scene on our campus, lots of student bands, and just opportunities to collaborate artistically with friends and peers. A lot of resources on campus, for sure. A writing center, career center. I always like to highlight the resource center, which is our kind of multicultural center opportunity for any students to go to if they need any sort of resource, like free printing. You can do at the resource center. The resource center will also do a winter coat drive every single year. And here I threw in a picture of snow for California folks, which you can expect in Middletown as well. And just a sample of some events that the Resource Center promoted last year. Housing wise, I would say we definitely have a pretty unique housing system. It's based on this idea of progressive independence. So as you go through the housing system, you will gain more and more independence. You'll start in your lower class years as in the dorms or residential halls. Then we have opportunities beginning your sophomore year to go into program housing, which are themed-based houses and can range from anything like Malcolm X House, which is really for students that identify with or are interested in learning more about the African diaspora. There is Outhouse for students that enjoy the outdoors. So lots of options there. Juniors will typically live in apartment style, 2 to 4 person apartments. Seniors get the opportunity to live in wood frame houses, which is 2 to 6 person houses. So you can see this street here is lined with senior houses, wood frame houses. And this is definitely one of the highlights. A lot of seniors like to joke that Wesleyan is the best landlord that they'll have for a while. It definitely is a pretty nice setup. If anything breaks, your sink breaks, your toilet breaks, Wesleyan will be there to fix it. Foss Hill is the center of campus, literally, and also figuratively. We have commencement there. On a nice day, students will picnic and do homework or read in between classes on Foss Hill, and definitely a place of community, but students will get involved. We have 200 plus active student organizations, opportunities to study abroad, etc. So definitely lots going on our campus. And just another shot, I like this one. You get a kind of a good variety of the fall foliage, which you will experience all 4 seasons in Connecticut. In the Connecticut Valley specifically, it is particularly beautiful. So yeah, to learn more information, definitely go to bebrave.wesleyan.edu to learn more, or reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat. But yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And the last presentation we're going to hear is from Caitlin at Denison University.
Okay, hello everyone. Let me just get this in presentation mode, and here we go. Hi, my name's Caitlin. I'm one of the Associate Directors of Admission at Denison. Denison is a small liberal arts college in Granville, Ohio. I'm not going to talk a lot about stats, but here are some of the ones that were asked most about, and I'll just point out we've got 2,300 students, so pretty intimate campus, as well as we're a 4-year residential community. So students are living on our campus all 4 years, almost 100% of them. So telling you a little bit about the location, as I said, we're located in Granville. This is where Granville is in the state of Ohio and where Ohio is in the United States, if you weren't totally sure, which is totally fine. We're located about 5 minutes up a hill just behind that pub, and Granville is this great little town. It was based off of Granville, Massachusetts, so it feels very much like an East Coast town, kind of like Stars Hollow, if anyone loves Gilmore Girls as much as I do. There are quite a few restaurants, a farmer's market, a lot going on in Granville, and I think our students really love having this town so accessible to them. While we are in a small town, we're about 40 or so minutes from Columbus. So that first slide says 25 minutes. I say 40 because it just depends on where you're going. There isn't traffic in Ohio like there is in California, where you and I live as well. Columbus is the capital of Ohio. It's about the 14th largest city in the country. It has over 2 million people. If you love food, Columbus has great food. If you love art, Columbus has amazing art. If you love sports, lots of professional sports. Ohio State is in Columbus, which just means there are a lot of young people. And I really think Columbus is just a wonderful gem of a city. And our students really, really love having access to Columbus for professional and social reasons, but also having access to a small town. I think that also it's worth saying that between Granville and Columbus, there is a lot going on. It's not just driving through like fields. I get a lot of questions about like, is there anything else? Yes, there is. So at Denison, we are really all about relationships. As you can see here, 92% of our students report having at least one mentor, compared to college students across the country who reported about 22%. It's really very common for students to have multiple mentors at Denison, whether that's the academic advisor who's a more formal mentor or someone who's just kind of becomes a friend. So your professors are going to know you well. You are going to be a name and a face, not just a number to everyone, professors, students, even the president. This is a place where the president is outside walking around most of the time, and he is really big on relationships as well. So, it's really a great place if you want that kind of experience. Some of our more kind of popular majors, and something that makes Denison a little bit different than some liberal arts colleges, are some of our majors like data analytics, global health, global commerce, health, exercise, and sports studies. You can find those at other schools for sure, but we take a little bit more of a pragmatic approach to the liberal arts. That's something that makes us a little bit different. In terms of student involvement, we have over 165 clubs, like many of my colleagues have said tonight. These are by, for, and of the students. So if you, I loved that when Janet said that. If you have something that you really want to add to campus, by all means, take it away. One activity that is quite popular is athletics. So we're a Division III athletic program. About a third of the student body is a varsity athlete at Denison, but we have clubs and intramurals, so you can get involved in any way. We do have quite an athletic spirit on Denison's campus. So whether or not you're an athlete, if you want kind of a little bit of a smaller school with a bigger school spirit, this could be an interesting place for you to look. While athletics are a really big part of who we are, and as I said, again, about a third of the student body is a varsity athlete, about a third of the student body, as you can see on this slide, is involved in music ensembles. So this is a campus where the arts are incredibly important. This is the newest building on campus, home to theater, dance, and music. Super cool building if you're into like techie things about theaters. And I love, one of my favorite things about Denison is the real balance between athletics and the arts. This is a place where both of those are very, very, very important. And I think that at a lot of places, high schools too, one of those kind of takes the cake. And I really love that balance that Denison has. A little bit about application, you can see here, we're holistic. I will point out mostly that we are test optional, have been for over 10 years. No thoughts to change that. We also meet 100% of students' demonstrated need at Denison. We are doing tours in person right now. We've actually been on campus since the beginning of the academic year, and things are going quite well. So we definitely plan to be back. If you have any questions, happy to answer them for you, but I will pass it back to Josh.
Thank you so much, Caitlin. And with that, we've concluded our university presentations, but we have just a couple of minutes left. So there's time to ask some more questions. If you want to put any other questions in the Q&A box, go ahead and do that, and our panelists can answer them as we continue. But I'd like to use our last couple of minutes to answer the question of just what's some piece of advice in about 30 seconds or so that you can share with somebody who's just beginning their application process. Let's do this in the same order that we just presented. So Jan from Vanderbilt, you want to go first?
Thank you. My piece of advice is it's pretty broad, but it's this idea of figuring out the places that are going to be a fit for you, where you are going to imagine yourself. It's going to be your academic, your social, cultural home. How do you identify fit? There are a lot of different things about a university, any of our universities, that might make them a fit for you. And I like to encourage students to come up with a list of maybe 5 or 10 or even 15 or 20, and think about things like academics. Is there a specific program you're looking for? Maybe you want a place that offers a lot of flexibility. What about culture, diversity, sports? What do students do when they're not in the classroom? Is it residential? What is the weather like? What's the food like? These are all really, really important questions. Cost and financial aid should be a number 1, 2, or 3 thing that you're thinking about in terms of fit. Realizing that maybe your top 5 for a school like Vanderbilt might be very, very different than your top 5 for another school that you're looking at. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Jan. Jason from Wheaton College.
Thank you. My advice is find ways to organize yourself as best as possible. You'll be grateful you did later on down the line. When you're visiting campuses, make a folder in your camera app for each school that you visit. When you're taking notes, categorize those by institutions. Go back, when you learn something, add it to that institution's note. The last thing you want, in the latter part of your senior year, you're making your final decisions, you're busy, you've got a lot going on, and you're making your final decisions and wondering, wait, which school had that great dining hall? Which one had that beautiful campus? Keep yourself organized. It will make your process so much less stressful and more enjoyable.
Thanks so much. Mason from University of Chicago.
So a lot of schools here mentioned their test optional policies. And so I know a question that some folks might have is, should I submit a test score? Should I not? Should I, and that kind of question. So my advice is to think of your application like a pizza. For the sake of argument, there are certain things that pizza must have in order to count as a pizza, like a crust, a sauce, cheese. Same with an application. There are required parts, like there's the application itself. There's your high school transcript, right? There, some essential things. But then the pizzas have toppings, right? As admissions officers, we are equal topping opportunity eaters. We will eat any toppings you put in your pizza, but the toppings that you choose, that's up to you. So if testing are mushrooms and you have mushrooms and there's some awesome mushrooms and you want to put them on your pizza, send us a pizza with mushrooms on it. And there's other toppings you could put on too. Maybe schools do an interview, you could put on some anchovies, or you have a music supplement, right? So you get to choose what toppings on your pizza. We only care about the toppings that are on your pizza. If you don't have mushrooms, don't worry. We don't care if there aren't mushrooms. We're only going to be focusing on toppings that are on your pizza. And if you do have mushrooms, but they're stinky old mushrooms that have been in the fridge for months and you don't want to use them, that's okay too. We don't need to know that there are mushrooms in the fridge that you aren't using, right? So, you are in charge of your toppings, and so I hope you feel that agency in the process.
And now I'm hungry for pizza. Ricky from Loyola University, New Orleans.
Yes, I tell my students and families, definitely check out Net Price Calculator. These are some great financial aid tools that are located in usually the college's financial aid website. Again, this kind of, well, you can put the family's income. You can look at, there's some schools will have scholarship calculators. You put in the test scores if they're test optional or required test scores, or us, we're blind, test blind. So you would put the GPA and they'll kind of let you know what kind of scholarships you'll get from us. And that's a good starting point to where you can talk with your family, talk to your recruiter at the school, school and kind of see, if that school is a good choice for you that way as well. So it's always important to have those discussions early.
Thanks. Janet from Wesleyan.
Yeah, mine is going to be super quick. It's just talk with our students, reach out, get connected with one of our current students. I think if you can picture that person being your peer, then that's a pretty good metric that you might feel comfortable on our campus, because maybe they might be one day. So definitely reach out and chat with current students.
That's great. Thanks. And Caitlin from Denison.
Yeah, I would just say be yourself. Like, be authentic, be who you are, be whatever topping, as Mason said, you want to be, and it's all going to work out.
And thank you all. Thank you to our panelists. We really appreciate all of your advice and for sharing about your own universities. And thank you to all of you, parents, students, counselors, for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to just a very quick 4-question survey. We really appreciate the feedback that you can provide there. Also, there are a couple more sessions where you can hear from some other colleges and universities. Sign up to hear from them if you haven't already. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as recordings of all of the other sessions happening at strivescan.com/BACS. Thank you all so much and have a great evening. Bye-bye.